Hey, I'm Mr. Welcome back to MotoGP 18, where Mario McDonald is flying on board the LCR Honda. Can he continue it in Japan? That's more like it. So here goes Mario for the first of two possible qualifying laps. It's always good when riders just come out of pit lane in front of you. So he's still got two possible qualifying laps. That's bloody ridiculous. But we're around Motegi. Very good circuit. For Mario on the circuit. Let's see if he can deliver for them. He's got to be at 45.8 to make it to qualifying 2. And he's not exactly doing it on this lap. Well, it's another difficult circuit, a bit like Aragon. Some tight corners. The odd fast sweeper like this. There's mostly long straights and tight corners around it. And corners that lead into each other as well. You'll see a couple of double apex corners. Corners that lead into each other. Well, it's not actually too far back, despite this being a horrible lap so far. Just now, here we go, the primary overtaking spot in this lap, maybe. This right hander as Mario goes wide. Just let that bike go. And get going. So here we go, now he's got two qualifying laps to offer. It's got just over 5 minutes to do it. I'm even a bit late. So once again, where's the brakes? Into that first corner. Gonna brake so early into these corners, it feels like. Be able to nail them. So go through the double left after the double right. Still quickest, 77 tenths up. Let's go into the hairpin. Nailing that apex, then through the fast right. And a bit too much speed into the corner. But he's still 7 tenths up. Looking very good this lap. Feeds the power in and then gently feeds the brakes on as well into these corners. Might get a bit of a toe here from the rider in front. Go onto the back straight. He's 1.8 up now apparently. Oh, he's nailing it this lap, but now you got this corner coming up. Brakes a bit early this time. So Petrucci's a 43.4 now. Let's move through the final couple corners. Really carrying the speed as he heads towards the line. Only second. Not good. Half a second back, because now Pedrosa's top 43.3. So Mario's got to make this lap count. He's going to make it through the qualifying 2. As he's really gaining on the rider in front, unfortunately. But he's 4 tenths up. Cracking opening sector. And almost into the back of that rider. Forced to take a wide line. So there goes those 4 tenths. Much better for the right. You can see 8,000 of a second down now. He gets on the power hard. Racing to the left. Has to make an overtaking move on his qualifying lap. Gets pushed wide though. And a 10th down. He has to overtake this rider before the line, doesn't he? He's going to have this for another lap. He goes into the final couple of corners. Tries to dive down the inside of the Avintia. Makes it stick. So here we go. So across the line with a personal best despite all that battling. He's still in third. So we go third and final lap then. Can he make it count? He can so far, 6/10 up. I see him in that apex beautifully as well. Seven tenths up. Oh, he's got used to his bike around here against his 110% opponents. He's using all the curb on the exit. Bit cautious into the hairpin. But still 7/10 up. This could be a 42 then. He just nailed his final sector. Slightly deep into the right. Such a tricky corner as well. Downhill braking. So easy to do that. So the final corner. Nice and smooth on the power heading towards the line. It is a 42.7. That was some work for Mario as he makes it through alongside Pedrosa. Very happy for Honda, not for Pramac though, as they just miss out with Petrucci and KTM. With Rabat rounding out the 5th row ahead of Baptista, Surin and Nakagami in his home race on the 6th row ahead of the Brits, Redding and Smith and Morbidelli. And then we've got Simeon, Abraham and Lutu with Alicia Spa going last. What a horrible season he's having on the Aprilia. So here goes Mario out for his qualifying to that clear track in front. Going out very early. Seeing if he can beat that 42.7. Because a mid 42 could be very good. Should be up there at least on the front 2 rows. That's all. Maybe could have carried a bit more speed for that second left. It's 25.5 for the first sector. Bit wide in the hairpin. It comes to enough on the power. .43.9 for the second. Sort of taking all the curb through that second right. That was a bit compromised, that corner as well on entry. It's been a bit all over the place this lap. May not neat and tidy, but he's just losing his extra little tenths in all these corners so far. He does a 1:13.2 for the third split, but it's the final split that matters. So nails the braking for the right hander. That's more like it. And a bit wide. Again, just a little compromises in that final corner being a bit offline, but this should be a 42. 42.7 again. As he's on par by 1.5 seconds. Are you kidding? And it's Dovi and Marquez with Rossi leading Sequedo, Zarco and Vinales, Lorenzo, Iannone and Rind on the 4th row, Minna, Quattro and Pedrosa. So for Mario, second pole in a row. Can he make it a second win in a row as well? So here's Mario revving up from pole once again, waiting for these lights to go out. For 8 laps here at the Tring Ring. And once again, Lorenzo with a marvellous start. So is Maverick Vinales down our inside. So trying to hang it out around the outside. Let's have the inside for the next left. But this side, Yamaha's got the drive off the corner. Down the inside into the left. Gets by Lorenzo down. Dovi down. What is happening to the Ducatis in that double left? There's Morbidelli's in the points. What a crazy start. We've got Miller behind in fourth. Marquez leading Vinales. What a crazy sequence of events for the Ducati riders as Nakagami battling for 17th. Fancied his first points of the season in his home race. As now we've got the big three fighting for second in the championship, all together at the front. The championship leader nowhere to be seen. So Vinales clonks the curb on the inside, forces Marquez right, takes us over the lead. Well, Zarco and Miller battling hard behind for over fourth. Ian only down as well. Down to 22nd with Lutas. Here comes Mario. As Marquez forces Barry back into the lead. Got Rossi behind on the other Yamaha. In fourth. There's Vinales in the dirt, hitting Marquez when he rejoins the circuit. No, I've lost between this pair. As Pedrosa battling for sixth. With Zarco, Rins. What has happened to the Suzukis? Did they get caught up in the drama? Mario's got the best seat in the house at the moment. They're taking elsewhere. You've got Petrucci, Cutro, and Baptista rounding out the top 10 for the Angoneto team. You've got Mario kind of cruising here in third. Then these two fighting themselves out. It's Paul Spargo now in the top 10 ahead of Baptista. He's KTM. Got Rossi behind, 7/10 behind though. It's a comfortable enough gap. Or was. Now Mario's got Rossi right in his tail. Got a second gap in front now. That one mistake cost him half a second at braking himself. As Dovi almost into the points already, up to 17th. Rins throwing him through on the Malaysian. And Jorge just out of last. Here's Lorenzo. Of the despair in Alicia Spargo this season. And there is Dovi back into the points ahead of Morbidelli. It's most closing that gap back up again. I know, very slow into the right. It's now Tito about fancies the top 10. There's Avintia. It's payday for some of the midfield teams. They sniff points. There's only ahead on the Kagami. See Mario second slower than Vinales. It's now Kayaba battling with Jorge Lorenzo, just like we thought would happen this race. It's Dovi, 17th. Really battling being the points. As Bratmir back into the top 5 ahead of Pedrosa. There's an 8/10 of a second gap to Rossi behind. The gap remains a second in front for Mario. Who, like Vinales and Marsh, have been looking to capitalise on Dovi's mistake. As he's back for 16th now with Bradley Smith on the KTM. As he go through this sweeping right and left. Or left and right. Mo pushing others. Oh, Dovi up to 14th now, ahead of Scott Redding. Where's that come from? As Mario very wide. He's been a bit shoddy into some of these braking zones. That's why he's 1.2 seconds back. But he's 1.2 seconds ahead of Rossi. There you go, a bit braver. So right-hander. Braking around the 150 mark. That seemed to help. As they're side by side everywhere, the riders in front. They're still maintaining this second gap to Mario. So he finally does a 42. Much quicker than Rossi. He's battling with Zarco. And the Tech 3. No respect for your elders. And the Frenchman, as you perhaps would expect from him, always entertaining. Zio and Zarco. It's almost 2 seconds back. So this is normally Mario time, as once again wide into that hairpin. Just seeing this like he's gaining on the riders in front as well. This more part of the race. He's got Nakagami battling with Bradley Smith. He should be gaining as well. Look at them. They're going side by side in every corner. Absolutely brilliant to watch. Very not brilliant for their race if Mario comes and joins the party though. So they're inviting him to do that. All this racing. Small D back into the point of Iannone. 2 second gap behind to Rossi and Zarco. Second gap in front. Mario a bit lonely as he head into the second half of the race. Needs to push on though onto this top 2. But he can't if the bike doesn't like it, as Dovi into the top 10. Head of Crutcho. Dips back into the 43s. He needs 42s. If that was another 42.7, he'd be right in the tail. But he's made so many mistakes braking into corners. Been all over the place. Needs to get that tightened up in the second half of this race. If he wants to challenge for the VIN, as he's exactly a second behind Marcus. So guys, a bit better, still a bit wide. Just nicking after the tyres as well, being in higher gears. It's not really helping him. As he's almost 3 seconds in front. These top 3 have just pulled away from the rest. Absolutely incredible. So is Jorge Lorenzo down in 22nd, battling with Thomas Luthi. Or 21st, battling with Kyle Abraham, as once again Mario wide. If he can nail the lap, he'd be with them. Just can't do it at the moment. Making so many C mistakes under braking. He's now 1.3 back. As he brake downhill. At least he's nailing that braking zone. It's the only one he's doing so far on this lap. So going to the final chicane. If he gets on the power, it's another 42, is it? No, 43.1, not good enough. So going to the sit for that. 1.5 back. As Petrucci and Miller battling hard over 6th. Rossi and Zarco over 4th. There's all Marquez right in front. Was making the same mistake as Dovizioso on that opening lap. So gap is down. So around a second. .3 behind. This is the late Mario charge. As we're battling with Renzo with 13th. Once again, not a race for Suzuki to remember this season. It's 8/10 back. He is gaining. It is happening. This tyre's in a good spot so he can be a bit more aggressive now. We're going down the first gear in some corners. There you go, back into the 42s, heading on to the penultimate lap. So we've got Rossi and Zarco glued together. So go down this back straight. Almost in slipstream range for Mario. As all three of these riders try to salvage their season to win the championship. Dovi's mistake is Lorenzo finally making some strides towards the points. Up into the top 20 now finally. So definitely gaining 6/10 back. He's getting stronger as this race goes on. Cut out the silly mistakes. And it's showing. It's Marcus posturing behind Vinales. 5/10 back. Oh, we could have a thrill on the final lap. As all Marquez ride into the dirt. So at the final corner, we've got Vinales, Marquez and McDonald all together. 4/10 back. As Rossi and Zarco still decide he wants to be fourth. Trozomeda still fighting over 8th. Quattro and Iannone over 10th. Oh, Mario pushing hard. You can see the rear of the bike screen. Going to the hairpin. Nice and tight line. He's going to surprise Marquez with the dive. Oh, Marquez giving it up. No, he takes it back on the exit. Right, got the inside line into the left. It takes over a second now. He's just got Vinales in front with half a lap to go. Oh, but he's gone wide. As Dovi's into the top 5 ahead of Zarco. It's all hard onto the brakes. Vinales has won. It's over who's second though. Mario through the final chicane. Can he get the exit? No, he can't. Not quite. Marcus holds on, but it's another podium. On board the LCR. Good battle in that final lap between the Honda pairing. Honda's favourite sons now, aren't they? As Vinales wins by half a second ahead of Marquez and McDonald. And then we've got Rossi in 4th ahead of Zarco. Dovi down in 6th by a 10th. And then we've got Petrucci, Pedrosa, Miller, Iannone, Crutcho, Rins, Espargaro, Rabat and Baptista grabbing the final point after being in the top 10 in the early stages. Head of Jorge Lorenzo, no points for the Ducati man. But at least Espargaro in last. So in the championship, the lead is down to 40 points ahead of Mario and Vinales. They're tied on points for second, but I bet they wish they could have taken some more points out, especially McDonald. Get that lead down to around a win and a half instead of just around a win and a 3rd place. As we've got Marquez in 4th. He's dropping back in that battle for second still. 29 points behind. The pair has, we've got Rossi in 5th, Zarco, Petrucci up to 7th ahead of Lorenzo. And then Morbidelli up to 26 ahead of Simeon. So in the constructors, 44-point gap between Ducati and Yamaha, with Honda 30 points further back, then Suzuki, KTM and Aprilia. On the team's championship, Yamaha ahead of Ducati by 24 points thanks to Lorenzo's non-score. Then Prakin third, and then you've got Honda, Suzuki, Tech3, LCR in 7th and 8th. And for Mario, just cementing that first rider status and those upgrades on the bike for the final 3 rounds of the season. As in Moto2, Alex Marquez ahead of Baldassarre in Olivia, and there is Jorge Martin is your Moto3 world champion. So for bike development then, do we just go with the brakes again? It seems to be working out pretty well, as the modularity, and then we have to do a bit of the aggression, so increase that braking power, as that's half developed now. And it could be useful around the Philippine circuit in Australia. It wasn't around the Trim Motegi. All of those mistakes in the first half of the race meant Mario could attack in the second half, but couldn't capsize and grab the victory. Maybe he can do it down under next time. Thanks for watching, and we'll find out then.